Kia ora, everyone. Welcome to this episode of the Binance New Zealand Ask Me Anything series. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Ben Rose, General Manager of Binance New Zealand, and today I'm really excited to have with me David Yu, CEO and founder of ECOMI, creators of VeVe. So, David, thanks for being here.
Thanks, Ben. Thanks for having me here today.
So, look, let's kick things off with a bit of an introduction. So, David, tell us a bit about VeVe and the story behind its creation.
Yeah, thanks. Well, my name's David, as you probably all know, CEO, co-founder of VeVe. We founded around 2017, and the VeVe, the app, is created by collectors, full collectors out there. And what we do is we take studio and IP brands into the Web3 space for a journey. And one of the beauty about VeVe is easy to use. You don't really need to be very crypto centric to able to understand the digital asset collectibles and or also known as NFT that you can own in the palm of your hand. We created an app that you can easily download on your iTunes store, Apple Store, and the Google Store, and now it's also available on the web. The beauty and the unique feature of our app is it allows users to interact with our augmented reality. Yeah, you can drive your Lamborghini inside the AR mode. You have a beautiful vault, and soon that will evolve into your home, where you can display, like how I have put behind my office desk here, all the memorabilia, collectible comics into your room in one space, and that's really the beginning, and we really think it's just a byproduct into something bigger where we are in this journey.
So let's start off and talking about some of those brands that you've licensed and brought into Web3. So which were your first brands that you kicked things off with?
Yeah, well, we have a lot of multiple brands that we came together. We pretty much knock on everyone's door, mid 2017. First few of the brand that came on board, we sing the Warner Brother DC characters from your Batmans, your Joker, your Harlequins, and so on. Then we slowly introduce into the system where we have Marvel superheroes come on board. We have a lot of the Disney holding companies from Pixar to Star Wars from Lucasfilm. We have seen the Golden Moments, the Princesses, and recently we have started introducing some of the earlier work from Cars and so on. Yeah, and I think, and we've done Star Trek, so that was from Viacom. We've done huge catalog of Universal Pictures, and we also have done NGM, our famous James Bond, where we're still celebrating the 60th anniversary with them. So that's
Wow.
quite a bit.
So how does that work? How does a Kiwi company get the rights to massive blockbuster properties like that? How do you tell me how you do it?
Well, I mean, the journey never is as smooth as it sounds, obviously. Um, well, it was very very difficult. I mean, back in 17, and we remember CryptoKitty was really just in the first born stage of what a crypto collectible will look like, and we pretty much built a vision. I've been in the gaming retail business for over 25 years now here in New Zealand and also up in Asia. So I have my small chain of retail shop where I bought in originally trading card games, tabletop board games, your role playing game, your Dungeons and Dragons, all these king of nerds stuff. And the whole shop is just full of cool collectibles. And my co-founder, start fishing around, what are some of the great things we could do with blockchain, these technology. I mean, obviously the underlay technology give us a lot more in security, authenticity, the confidence. And we thought, wouldn't it be great if we could be the first digital collectible? Because I was showing him a lot of our first appearance of comic book, for example, or first New Zealand stamp. I used to collect stamps and I collect coins, and I was just showing through him the vast of collection I have, and then we thought there could be a market if we digitalize these, but we really need to find a balance of how people will react and want to be part of this collection and the fun of collecting digital. So we're very, very lucky to convince a lot of these studios who I probably still think we were insane, and they really just wanted to give us a go. And we just say, please give us a chance, give us a go. If it works, it's the start of something really amazing. And we tend to see these collectibles in trends or even technology. They come in waves, right, Ben? They you go through the Web 2, and prior to that, and the e-commerce retail, there's always something that's around the corner. And the collectible world, obviously, people started with cigarette cards. It eventually become baseball card collectibles. They got into the comic collecting. They went through the coins, the stamps, Beanie Baby, for example. There's all these craze. But what we have found is very different this time is that the immerse of studios and real world brands all want to be part of this, Web3 ecosystem. So we really believe that this is here to stay.
It's really interesting that you came at this from a collectibles point of view, and then went into NFTs from there. Whereas lots of NFT collections started off with, okay, we're going to do some NFTs now. What do we do? So do you think that that's given you a bit of credibility with the studios and the brand
Well,
owners?
yeah, I mean, we're very, very lucky with these brands came on board and giving us a go at it. The and I think one of the major part is we went to them with a plan of how we're going to do what we call the interactive storytelling, really bringing their character alive. And with the we really rely on the AR, the phone speed, the capability, the internet connection, uh, and that was very, very important and fundamental. Now, obviously, the blockchain is very important as well because you want to own one of these unique numbers. And we kind of convince them that there will be some sort of market for this. And we all know about the Web3, the metaverse. You got gaming company like Roblox out there. You got
Hmm.
Fortnite. You got a lot of games already out there. Even the Counter Strike. People were playing. They were buying people's account on Diablos, things like that. So
Yeah.
it's very commonly that in the gaming industry, interactive, that there's an intrinsic value on these
Hmm.
characters or accounts that you have spent thousands of hours in.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, people spend a lot of time and dedication into it.
So give me an example then of a property and how you brought that to life and what the user's experience is like.
Yeah. So number one is obviously we went through a huge craze 18 months ago. This it all started off with these artworks in the auctions going for a record price. Um,
Yeah.
and we thought, wow, yeah, and we kind of knew the artwork is going to be a very fast taking. And just keep in mind, digital artwork has been around for a long time.
Hmm.
Galleries, I used to go to gallery, they put on a digital show. It just that it wasn't on the blockchain, but people were collecting digital artwork from very early stage. What we wanted to do was actually to build a fandom. Now, if a lot of you guys, if you listening or watching this and you're into the Magic the Gathering or the Pokemon trading cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, or Dungeons and Dragons, if you go to your local retail shop, you will find um, tables and chairs and trestles table in the back of the shop, and those are
Hmm.
for really for gamers to come together. So the community building hasn't really just started in Web3. It started a long time ago from games and collectibles. People gather around in retail shops. So that was actually the number one thought, is that you need to build a community to do the storytelling, to be part of that. And number two, very importantly, was that um, what we wanted to create was something, an app that is got a very niche market on its own right. So we all know social media apps. You got Instagram, people, beautiful models or celebrity post their holiday on it. You got LinkedIn, which is very professional. People go in there, seek jobs, and offer support and professions. Then you got Facebook, where family communities upload their
Mm.
photos. And then you have TikTok, where people love to generate these content, be the star of themselves. And then we kind of thought, if we could add element of social into this ad as
Right.
part of the fandom. And when I talk
Mm.
about fandom, I'm talking really the second secret of someone, what else they do apart from they are a doctor during the day. What do they do at night? They probably deep down they love the Marvel movies, the studios, or they love playing
Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons. So the the second secret is something that I was always intrigued, because I see a lot of customer come through my shop, and you always knew they must have some sort of disposable income to able to keep up with this hobby. Um, and then you go to these comic cons, you go to these comic shows or anime show. These people and doctors from professions, they dress up in cosplay for that weekend. So for the whole weekend, they're going to be the superhero they beloved, or this character that they admire and so much adore. They make these beautiful costumes to be part of
Mm.
this the
Mm.
whole week. Now, so Monday morning they go back to their job. Some of them are school teachers, some of them are probably doctors, as I say, or lawyers. But what the Vivi app really wanted to do was to open up that market. And it kind of not just the geekiness anymore. I mean, during the COVID lockdown, playing with trading card games has become a popular thing. Going back to
Yeah.
collecting NBA cards become a very popular thing. So what we wanted to do was to allow that collector, allow that fandom to able to take a photo with their superhero next to them in AR mode. And we thought, if you could showcase you're standing next to these superheroes, let's say Batman, people will want to own one. People will ask you, wow, well, I didn't know you into Batman. Where did you get this Batman standing next to you?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Post. And that really took off. So understanding the piece of that utility, apart from taking a major brand, how you could be bringing that brand into that storytelling and mixing that, and from the physical world, because you do see these characters very physically next to you, and now people have been using the opportunity in the app to create beautiful showrooms, beautiful animations, how they would display their characters and how they would do their storytelling. What um, what it would be like if Chucky was on a Lamborghini going down a VV 500 race. And these are the storytelling beyond the character that you once know of. And because we grew up playing games like Toy Soldiers and GI Joe, and we never really
Mm.
think um, they are different brand. We just think, well, that's what I see in TV. That's what I collect. That's what I bought. I love
Yeah.
it. And you mix them together. Um, and so that's one of the cool thing about Vivi, is that we have so many, and we wanted to build so many brand into it. So you're going to see the Star Wars vehicle with the Star Trek vehicles. You're going to see the Marvel characters mixed with a bit of DC characters, because they're superhero. And no matter which brand company owns them, um, collectors like ourselves and comic lovers, we think they belong together, and that's just how it works.
So we were just blown away when we posted for questions for this AMA. Your community is, I mean, it's amazing. So engaged. They were all over it on social media. Incredible, incredible group of people.
Yeah. So I do have to shout out to, the Omi homies and the VeVe fans. You know, thank you for being part of this extraordinary community. And Ben, it is so vital for any successful project to have great
Oh, it's
audience and
everything.
people who love to tell and share their story and be part of it. And this is just really the start.
Okay, so there's no shortage of questions from them, so I'll get into the questions that they asked. Um, so here's the first one. Um, I understand that VV has had strong sales even in the current bear market. What makes you guys different, and what's the customer insight driving that?
Mm, yeah, that's a really really good question. Yeah, we have seen a lot of marketplaces or platform, have to alter either their fees or reduce their drop rates. Um, we really believe that toy company, even physical toy companies, when they have a bad quarter, doesn't mean they're going to stop making toys. Our job is actually to learn what our customer want and to come up with better collectibles. We released Lamborghini, I think, last week. It was sold out within seconds of it, and obviously there are reasons why it went out really fast, because when limbo people been asking for a long time, and then when you have a very scarce number out there, there will always be that massive market. Our
Mm,
job is actually to find the fine balance of big brain and understanding the IP collectability of it, and finding that niche market to grow that audience and get them to collect. For example, we introduced stamp collectings, one of my earlier hobby. So we bought in USPS, and soon we are
mm,
releasing New Zealand Post stamps onto VV
wicked.
in coming month. And the beauty about these is actually couple things. It's bringing people who love collecting stamps and people who don't even know why you want to collect stamps, and that two audience together. And we all know
Yeah, yeah.
someone in our family used to collect stamps, and it is the first footstep to go to that mass marketplace to get these people in. And so that's number one. Number two is understanding the interaction between the two different audience. So, for example, if you're a parent, you got kids who love these younger um, content that we have. You buy it because you know they love it, and it also become a talking topic with your kids to
Mm, mm,
interact.
mm.
Because I remember a very good friend of mine have told me he started playing Fortnite and Roblox. As we all know, many parents now play Roblox, and they
Yep.
play Roblox is because in a way their teenager or their kid, when they get home, the bag's down, the homeworks are down, they are in front of the screen time. And the only way you can really interact with kids these days is you kind of need to have similar interests as they do. So a lot of these parents are now getting into playing these games. So understanding and able to find a way to communicate with their kids. In a way, it is very sad that they have to do that, because when we were young, Ben, you would know, our parent would go, "Well, that's right, we going camping. That's it. You guys gone. There's no
Yeah.
screen, they're off, you're gone." But the society today is changing a lot. And, we need to keep up with the times. And our job is, like I say to you earlier, is that finding a fine balance of what's collectible and how we make it collectible. And that audience, once you grow that audience, and one of the key part is, apart from the brands, you still want to make that product collectible and a
Mhm,
talk
mhm.
topic at home, and you want to have that desire, you want to own that item. And just going back to the drop, a quite successful drop on that Lamborghini, was that every customer wants to own one, because owning a Lamborghini in real life, it will cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
So it's one stage closer for you to own digital one. And they are very limited, by the way. I think there's only about 6,500 of them. And the real car, the
Wow.
STO, last I checked, I think they probably made 17,000 of them in real life. So it is very
So the
designed
NFT
to,
is more exclusive.
yeah. It's and because the details around it and the interactive, you press the control button, the steering wheel pops out, the joystick, you can start driving them around, and the door opens up, you can go in, you see everything like the real car. And I have seen through social media people standing next to it, posting photos, taking it out on
Wicked.
night. Yeah.
That's cool. Oh, how cool. For the record, I'm not bad on Fortnite because I've got a 13-year-old daughter. I've got the old Victory Royale, but I'm terrible on Roblox. Um, Another question is, so not all of your competitors are doing so well right now. Will VeVe make any moves to purchase other companies, or is it better just to let those companies die and scoop up their licenses?
No, I, you know, we really hope the industry will foster for everybody. Just like you never only have basketball car, you're gonna have NFL car, your hockey cards, your baseball cars, basketball car. If you only have one sector and that collectible, it's kind of defeat the purpose. I mean, you'll never just have one type of software or one comic book that you read and only one brand. It takes that fun of why the enjoyable and getting into it. We really do hope that through the softness and the market current condition, a lot of them can still get support from customers or VC who will get through it. In terms of looking to acquire and to expand, we have our own pillars that we haven't finished, which I talked about to our audience before. Is that this year we're going to be expanding that utility value of the collectibles. There's the music sector we're going into. There's the sports. We're just trying to find the narrative and to reconnect with our audience why you will want to collect these things and how will you want to collect these things rather than just coming out because we have a great idea rather like how we have done 18 months ago. We really want to penetrate more precise and get that demographic, and I think more and more brand coming in and more player, it kind of foster people the knowledge of, hey, this is the new trend of collecting.
So you mentioned sports, and I've actually got a question here from one of your community. So companies like Autografio, NBA, Top Shot, and DraftKings have all launched their own NFTs, and some have had short-term success, but all of them have content which few talk or even know about. Given the seeming uninterest in sports NFTs, do you still think a sports vertical is the way to go, and how would VeVe do it differently?
Yeah, Ben, that's really, really amazing. Whoever asked that, we have been studying a lot of these players in the marketplace, and there are a few things that I have found they go hand to hand character in these NFT company bringing these sports vertical out. Is that if I was collecting sports, I'm really collecting the hero that I love. In New Zealand, we love the All Blacks, for example. If they play a little bit better, or they get more love. Other women's rugby teams are doing amazing.
Yeah, we
And
like
they
them.
won
They're
the
winning. We like them.
yeah, now the beauty about why you are so in love with sports is because you're hero. You grew up with it. It's a culture. One important thing is that what we do in VV is that we will always try to mint the most popular character as a common product. One that why people will want to come into the app to purchase is because they want to buy the most popular one, because they want to own one. So if you make the most popular player the hardest to get or the most expensive to
Mm-hmm.
get, your market slowly is just going to cater to the whales or the hardcore flippers, where they're going to have the money to come in and buy, is because their intention is to make money in the secondary. Um, so that's one thing that I have found. A lot of these sports company, they make the most amazing player the hardest, and the prices out of reach. And to
Mm-hmm.
really get star collecting, you really want to get them into the door, and hold their hands into the first amazing collectible, so they can show their friends, and that's what they want. They just want to know that they're going to get that collectible. So what will we do more differently is, we will, we've been discussion about doing collabs, collaboration with different brands. If it's music, what would the artist be doing if he or she was a superhero? We're still brainstorming, by the way. So nothing is confirmed, and I don't want our audience to go out and speculate what it will be like. We really
I
believe
suspect they
that
might do that anyway.
uh, I really do believe that there's a lot of opportunities. And you see sports player, they endorse advertising. So that's a collab. They endorse the brands that they love and they belong
Mm.
with. And we'll do something in the similar line is, what would it be, that narrative for that collectible to be successful as in the collectability wise.
Okay, so next question sort of looks back a bit more rather than forward. So if you go all the way back to the beginning, back to 2017, which collection in particular would you single out that you were proudest of? And you have to pick
Yeah.
one.
Um, Obviously, the first one that we brought out was the Todd Batman Black and White series. Um, we were extremely proud because the sculptor, the artist who created Todd Batman, is one amazing piece of collectible in real life in 3D. Um, and we kind of minted it as the most common one because we think everyone who wants to own a Batman will want to have one of that, and that did extremely well. And I think a lot of the VeVe collectors out there recognize that is actually the official first Batman DC put up in minted on the blockchain, and it just happened. The artist is someone who I really admire. Todd McFarlane, amazing company, being around for a long time doing toys, and the sculpture is just immaculate when you see it. Um, that was something, a really proud moment. And I did remember when we turned the app on, myself and Dan, my co-founder, were in my kitchen table, and he actually go, well, I'm about to turn it on, the app. And, we say to each other, I hope someone will buy a Batman in digital, because and I think we read the first comment that came through, the first few comment. So it was the Batman Black and White Series 1. And someone made a comment and go, why is this collectible black and white? Even though it's the label Batman Black and White Series 1. So we kind of knew, oh God, this is going to be a very hard road, because people didn't even know why, we're doing it as the Black and White series, because that was the whole idea behind it. In releasing eventually all 101 or 5 out there, DC Direct has been bringing out these Black and White series from all their artists' representation of their characters into a polystone statue, and we're very lucky to start scoping them and releasing them in digital. I was very, very proud moment because I actually collect the physical pieces. So to see that coming in, it was just a joy, really.
Yeah, that's cool. That's very cool. Next question is about Disney. So Disney's earning call was very recently, with big companies investing tens of billions into their own metaverses, what are the odds that they have also invested in a metaverse company? What happens if it showed that the company they invested in was VeVe?
If it was,
Everyone's watching your face for a reaction now.
no, yeah, um, last year the buzzword was metaverse. Really, everyone's coming
Mm-hmm.
out on their projection or an call about metaverse. The truth of the metaverse, the Web3, is still in the very nascent early stage. You know, from my perspective, what will be real is this, Ben. So imagine this, and just go back one step before I tell you what my world will look like and what
Okay, I'm
I
ready.
will be doing. Um, is that number one, metaverse has been out for a long time. I mean, gaming companies are already doing it, but for the single
Yep.
purpose is that you want to win in that game. People watch people play Fortnite for the entertainment value. They sit there, watch the YouTube. My brother's kid watch people play Fortnite and they laugh about it because they think it's funny. So they don't.
Wow.
And this is where the world is moving into. They find watching other player playing in the gaming another world is fun. So
Mm-hmm.
just imagine that you in the gaming industry and you have all these known player characters. As we know, they just walk around, they do
Yeah.
nothing. And this year the buzzword is AI. Imagine you plug artificial intelligence or ChatGPT or whatever, and these characters start interacting with you in VeVe's. They
Mm.
start talking to you. Hey Ben, how's your day today? Oh, it's pretty good. Okay, what you're into? It's learning all your talks. Is reacting with you. Is now getting really serious now. Ben, he's going to be talking to you in deep conversations about things you love. And in matter of time, what's going to be real is that users fall in love with these characters. And I tell you, metaverse is going to become really big business because people will go, oh my God, they're going home to switch it on to interact with the characters that they probably don't even exist in the other side as real. Um,
So
so,
your second secret stops being the property you're into and more this whole different life that you've got with these other people who don't exist.
yeah, because now they can technically plug in and really have a deep, meaningful
Mm.
conversation with you.
Mm-hmm.
And they're probably going to praise you. They're probably going to say good things about you, and they're going to go, well, I see you, you just bought a new collectible. I really like that. And,
Yeah, yeah.
you thought
Great
about the
choice.
pink.
Yeah,
Great
yeah,
choice.
yeah.
And then, you know, imagine that. And
Mm.
the possibilities out there. And, all these multinational companies, and Disney's not just one of them, all of them are going to, one way or another, try to enter into the space in the Web3 in their meaningful way. Some of them's going to come in as entertainment value. Some of them's going to come in as a digital commerce value, what we call digital good commerce. So I really do believe that we're yet to see the other side. And I don't believe it's going to be a winner take all industry because I think it will be very evil if it was just one company that runs the other side of the world. Um,
But
so
you seem not to have answered the second part of that question, which was what happens if Disney decided to buy VeVe?
no, yeah, no, that probably you guys as Binance will have a bigger chance if you want to expand into the Web3 and really taking that to the next stage. The the the, the not just the Web3 and understanding the value of digital assets is very important. And
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
you know a lot of these companies are very entertainment, their value is driven by the hundreds of years collectively of works that they have released. And part of that, they just want to capture the storytelling. We as a company, we want to find a very good, well-balanced app where all these lives in. Um, we know when our fans go, well, there's too much of this brand, there's too much of that. So we try to adjust it a little bit. And we're seeing that in the streaming industry, right? We have now seen multiple players out there. If you don't have HBO, you have Netflix, you have Amazon, Disney Plus. You got a lot of options out there now, and consumers will really be gravitated to the channels and the subscription they love the most, and that's really around the brains. And you just have to keep making blockbuster hits. For us in the studio of VeVe is to make that next blockbuster hit, be part of it. And we really understood the uniqueness having these beautiful brands, but the utility value outside that brand value needs to really resonate and start speaking if we want to continue to go down that path. And that's what our mission is.
So amazingly, it's almost as if you've seen the questions in advance. The last question is, what advice would David give to global brands about adding utility to their NFTs? Will his platform offer tools for global brands to offer this utility in the wider metaverse and in real life? So what advice would you give them? And will you enable them to do that?
Yeah. The space is very new. And we see a lot of these companies already starting to test their toes in it. We have done movie tickets on NFT redemption. So you buy the real ticket and you redeem for a collectible in the app. This year, we're doing what we call the digitals. We're working with physical toy companies and print artists to release
That's cool.
coincide. And we've got a real big brand coming out, which I'm crazy excited about. It's something I sell in my shop and I collected all my life, and it's going to come out with a digital version in the same time when it hit the shelf.
Any hints about what it might be?
It's a AAA brain. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Exciting.
It's pretty amazing. I'm under NDA. I can't say anything. It's not here, so you don't need to speculate. It's not behind me. Maybe it's not.
I was having a look.
Yeah. So, brand and major company really need to embrace the technology of blockchain. They really need to embrace and be acceptance to digital asset class. They shouldn't be really scared off when they think, well, NFT is just a token. It's like a Bitcoin or it's a crypto. If you don't embrace it, you will just fall behind because technology will just keep evolving and people are there and they will adopt and they will move forward. So to big companies out there, and if you haven't thought about digitalizing and come up with a strategy of how you can be part of this new ecosystem, you really need to be thinking twice and you need to be bringing experts into your brand, your headquarter to talk about it, to learn about it. The difference between you refuse to learn or you're not part of that time or you learn it and then you chose not to be part of that is very different. So you really need, to the big company out there, you really need to adapt and take on these new initiatives because every company out there right now is thinking how they can be the market leader in that. And we have seen that Nike is doing it, sports teams are doing it. And it's not really just about revenue driving. It's about the whole marketing behind the brand needs to be relevant to new audience constantly.
What's the importance of utility then for brands?
Yeah,
when it comes to the NFTs,
very good. Because now when you have an NFT, you are actually going direct to your consumer by sending them a message directly. There's so much media out there, and we're talking, billboards, ads, pop-up banners to your website. NFT is almost building that community, right? Which we talked about. And that community is loyal followers. They are part of this community and they're part of that utility. And not all of them are asking, hey, every couple of weeks you should be giving me a free this, free that. They are part of that utility of that community to be their voice to be heard. They want the brains to work better. And this is one of the things that we have found, VeVe, fans out there, is that our fans are actively communicating to us to tell us to do better here, to build this. And our goal is to satisfy all these needs and wants because they believe in us and they believe in that brand value. So the utility for a lot of these companies is not really just going, well, let's mint some NFT and maybe bring them in for a test drive if they own one of the NFT, like one of the car brand recently did. It's about how you communicate, talk to your customer, and that value of the pyramid value of that is very important because you're getting into those fandoms and getting to that community. You really can test it out. They could be the first of the people to be part of a special launch because they are your hardcore fan who owns that NFT. They want to be the first one to try, and they will voice it back to you if that physical goods or that experience in digital or that redemption did not feel so good for them. They will give you that feedback. So brand out there, activation and marketing, it's a key part.
Great answer, thank you. And David, I think that brings us to the end of our session today. Some really interesting topics there. And look, thank you so much for giving us your time. And I'm sure the conversation will continue in socials as well. And look, for all of those viewers at home, thank you for watching this. And tell us what you thought in the comments below. We're really keen to know what you thought about some of the topics that David was covering today. Leave some more questions for him if you want to. And also subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss our next AMA session coming soon. Thanks, David, and thanks, team.
Thanks, Ben. Thanks for having me.